Today, I want to speak directly to you, Leo, about a cycle of evolution that's approaching with the strength of a sun that doesn't ask permission to shine. As I looked at the cards, I felt the urgency to share this message because what's coming isn't just any movement. It's a turning point that will shake your life to its roots. The energies reveal that you will soon leave behind a situation, a relationship, or even a place that for a long time has been your main stage, but now it's limiting your expansion. At the center of this reading appears the Eight of Cups, a card that shows someone walking away with a heart full of emotion, but with the determination to move towards something greater. For you, Leo, this image is powerful because it speaks of letting go of something that once ignited your fire, but no longer fuels your essence. As a fire sign, you hate feeling like your light is dimming, and even though it's hard to let go of what once meant power or love, your soul knows that the time has come to keep shining somewhere new. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe and join our growing community of Leos embracing their true power. Your journey toward transformation is just beginning, and together we'll shine even brighter. Leave a comment below. I want to hear which part touched your heart the most and what changes your soul is calling for. Your story could inspire others on this path, and we're all here to support each other. Remember, Leo, your light is unique and unstoppable. Let's walk this path of greatness together. Subscribe, comment, and let your roar be heard. You might try to convince yourself that what you have is enough, that there's no need to take risks. But there's something inside you, an inner voice that's screaming louder than ever. I want more. I deserve more. I need to expand. And this isn't a whim, Leo. It's your very essence roaring for a bigger stage. Next to the Eight of Cups appears the Two of Swords, a card that reflects inner conflict, the kind of decisions that hurt because none of the options seem easy. If these words resonate with you, if you feel like you're at that breaking point where your heart and your mind are fighting a silent battle, I invite you to subscribe to the channel and leave me a comment. I want to read your story. I want to know if you too are feeling that life is pushing you toward a more authentic version of yourself. The Two of Swords shows someone blindfolded, holding two swords, unable to decide which path to take. And that's you, Leo, caught between the comfort of the familiar and the roar of the universe calling you into the unknown. On one hand, you crave safety. On the other, you long for the thrill of the new, the conquest, the rebirth. That tension is exhausting you, and more importantly, it's blocking the blessings that are already aligning for you. This card warns you, don't postpone the decision. Every day you delay this movement, you feed anxiety and give more power to fear. And here comes the third card, the Tower, strong, relentless, revealing. This arcana announces sudden changes, the collapse of structures you once thought were indestructible, shake-ups that, though uncomfortable, are necessary to free your greatness. For you, Leo, the Tower is not punishment, it's liberation. It's a reminder that your kingdom cannot be built on foundations that no longer support your truth. If in recent days you've noticed tensions, uncomfortable conversations, truths coming to light, or even an unexplainable emptiness, don't ignore it. The universe is pushing you, not to break you, but to return you to the throne you deserve. This is your moment to embrace transformation, to say, I trust, I dare, I move forward, because inside you burns a powerful desire for authenticity, and the time to suppress it has come to an end. This process is leading you to reconnect with your brightest essence, Leo, because you are crossing a unique gateway of spiritual transformation, one that will not open again for a long time. This is an unrepeatable moment. After the Tower comes the Six of Swords, a card that speaks of transition, of leaving behind battles that drained your energy to sail toward calmer waters. The journey of your soul is already mapped out. It's time to move toward a reality more aligned with your greatness. Dare to take the first step and trust, because the Six of Swords doesn't just announce a physical or external change, it signals a deep purification. The image shows a boat drifting away from stormy shores toward peaceful lands. For you, Leo, this symbol carries great power. You will leave behind places where your light was dimmed and move toward a space where you can shine freely, without restrictions. It may hurt to let go of the familiar, but on the other side of fear is the life you've always dreamed of. This card confirms that what you're releasing, whether it's a relationship, a job, a family dynamic, or even an identity that no longer fits you, had stopped feeding your fire. On the surface, it might have seemed stable, even necessary, but deep down, it had become an invisible prison. The Six of Swords promises that after the initial discomfort, you will find clarity, relief, and a new inner peace. The next card in this reading is the Ten of Wands. The image of someone walking under the overwhelming weight of 10 staffs mirrors exactly what you've been feeling over the past few months. The excessive burden, the responsibilities that seemed never-ending. Leo, we know your strength and resilience are admirable, but this arcana comes to remind you of something vital. You don't have to carry everything to prove your power. You've taken on more than you were meant to, perhaps carrying projects, people, or even emotions that weren't yours to begin with. This burden has drained your creative energy, that spark that is your very essence. It's time to release what doesn't belong to you. Delegate, let go, trust. Because if you keep trying to hold up an entire world on your shoulders, you'll lose the ability to enjoy your own kingdom. This is a crucial moment to reevaluate your relationship with ambition, recognition, and the material world. Maybe for years, you defined your success through visible achievements, applause, titles, possessions, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating your victories, Leo. But now, your soul is beginning to ask, is this all there is? Or is there something greater waiting for me when I stop chasing external validation? That question is the seed of your spiritual awakening, and though it may stir discomfort, it is the beginning of the freedom you so deeply desire. The next card, the Emperor reversed, confirms this. In its upright position, the Emperor symbolizes order, control, solid structures, values you've admired and proudly embodied. But in its reversed position, this card sends a direct message. Your need for control might be limiting your expansion. Maybe you've lived trying to keep everything within strict rules, following external expectations, building a flawless image. And in that process, you forgot to listen to the authentic roar of your heart. This card invites you to release the invisible chains you created for yourself, to let life flow more spontaneously, and to trust in the magic of the unexpected. Finally, the reading culminates with the Queen of Pentacles, and here, a beautiful turn arrives. After the chaos, the letting go, the shedding of burdens, and the collapse of old structures, this queen comes to remind you that true abundance isn't measured by what you own, but by the sense of security you feel within. She represents the balance between the material and the emotional, between external success and inner peace. Leo, you are about to enter a phase where your power will no longer depend on dominating, controlling, or impressing, but on living in alignment with your true self. When you do that, everything you seek, prosperity, love, recognition, will come to you as a natural consequence of your authenticity. She represents abundance, warmth, and the ability to manifest well-being, qualities that already live within you, Leo. The Queen of Pentacles reminds you that your talent for creating prosperous, vibrant spaces doesn't depend on anything external. It is part of your fiery essence. Even if you must tear down old structures, your creative power remains untouched, ready to build a kingdom that is more authentic and aligned with who you truly are. Trust that even though the path may involve letting go of comfort and certainty, within you lives the strength, nobility, and wisdom necessary to build a fulfilling life. This card announces that after this shakeup, you will discover more creative and meaningful ways to express your gifts, perhaps through art, inspiration, communication, or the creation of projects that nourish not only the material world, but also the spirit. Leo, this is a decisive moment. Your destiny is not written, but the direction is entirely up to you. The eighth card to emerge in the reading is the Hermit, an urgent call to withdraw from the noise, to step away for a moment from the applause and the attention, and to listen to the most important roar of all, the one that comes from within. This arcana shows a wise figure holding a lantern that lights his path through the darkness, a symbol of the clarity that can only be found in introspection. For you, Leo, this means that your evolution doesn't depend on doing more, but on reconnecting with yourself. It's a time for silence, for brutal honesty, for asking yourself what you truly desire, without masks, without a stage. Following the Hermit comes Death, one of the most powerful and feared, yet also most liberating cards in the tarot. And no, it does not foretell physical death, but an inevitable, profound ending that makes way for a new cycle full of light. Leo, this message is clear and direct. The time has come to close the chapters that no longer sustain your fire. A relationship, a dynamic, a role you've played for years, or even an identity that no longer resonates with who you are. These must be left behind. This ending may hurt, because it means saying goodbye to something that once defined you. But within that farewell lies the seed of your rebirth. It is the space where your soul will cry out its truth. I need something greater, more authentic, more mine. You might feel that what once inspired you no longer holds meaning, that even with achievements, applause and admiration, something within whispers, "Is this all there is?" That apparent emptiness is not a punishment. It is the portal to a more real and meaningful life. And then comes the Fool, the great messenger of new beginnings. His energy is fresh, free, vibrant. He represents the leap of faith, trust in life, and the impulse that comes from the heart rather than logic or calculation. The image shows a young man at the edge of a cliff, smiling, ready to jump without fear. For you, Leo, this card is a hymn to courage. Dare to take the first step, even if you don't have all the answers, because the path will light up as you move forward. The Fool invites you to release your fears, to shed the weight of expectations, to remember that true greatness lies not in control, but in the freedom to be yourself. The unknown, far from being a threat, is the very stage where miracles unfold. And for Leo, who came into this world to shine, there is nothing more powerful than reinventing yourself from a place of authenticity. This card, the Fool, also highlights the importance of lightness, a sense of humor, and the ability not to take yourself too seriously in the midst of transformation. For a sign like Leo, who often feels the weight of expectations and the pressure of playing the leading role, cultivating this attitude can be quite the challenge. But if you manage to do it, you'll open the door to a more authentic, free, and possibility-filled experience. Lightness doesn't diminish your greatness. On the contrary, it allows you to shine more naturally without unnecessary burdens. After the Fool comes the Star, one of the most inspiring cards in the tarot. Its image shows a naked figure pouring water both onto the earth and into a body of water, symbolizing deep purification and the merging of the earthly and the spiritual. For you, Leo, the Star brings a message of hope, healing, and rebirth. It indicates that after the shake-ups, the goodbyes, and the uncertainty, a new stage is coming where you will regain trust in life and in yourself. This arcana reminds you that your essence, when expressed with honesty and transparency, is the most powerful light there is. Leo, your brilliance does not depend on external applause. It comes from your authenticity. It's time to take off the masks, to release the demands that don't come from your heart, and allow yourself to be who you truly are, without fear. The Star lights your path toward a purer, freer, and truer version of yourself. Next appears the Page of Pentacles, a symbol of new beginnings in the material and creative realms. The image of this young person holding a pentacle speaks of learning, curiosity, and exploring the unknown with openness. For you, Leo, this card announces fresh opportunities. It could be a project, a career, a new business venture, or even a hidden talent beginning to blossom. This page is here to tell you, don't be afraid to start from zero, because your inner fire will give you the energy to move forward successfully. At this stage, life invites you to reconnect with enthusiasm, to learn, to reinvent yourself. Leo, patience may not come as naturally to you as it does to other signs, but your passion makes up for it. If you put your heart into this new path, the rewards will come. Finally, a deep message arises. It's time to examine your relationship with attachments. As a sign ruled by the sun, you love the warmth of connections, affection, and recognition. But sometimes, that need for love can lead you to hold on to relationships, environments, or habits that no longer resonate with you. Now is the time to ask yourself, who is walking beside me out of genuine love, and who remains only out of habit? Letting go doesn't mean losing. It means making space for what truly nourishes you. Life wants to bring you more authentic connections, relationships that uplift your spirit and push you to grow, not bonds built on dependency or fear of loneliness. It's time to seek out people who resonate with your truth, who ignite your creativity, who don't dim your light. And then comes the 13th card, the Wheel of Fortune, a powerful representation of life's cycles. This card reminds you that nothing stays the same forever. Everything spins, everything changes. Leo, as much as you love control, the wheel turns with or without your permission, because that is the natural flow of the universe. And in your case, this wheel announces a favorable shift, a chapter in which destiny begins to align with your authenticity. You may feel dizzy as some doors close and others open unexpectedly, but trust, you are being guided toward places where your light will shine more brightly than ever. The wheel invites you to flow, to trust that even if you can't yet see the final result, every movement is bringing you closer to your purpose. For you, Leo, this card is a clear invitation to trust that the transformation you're experiencing is part of a much greater cycle. What seems like a challenge today will, in time, be revealed as the door that led you to your true greatness. The Wheel of Fortune asks you to move with the changes, not resist them. Because even though your fixed nature longs for control, life is now urging you to release the predictable and embrace the unknown, where opportunities await that you can't yet imagine. Movement is inevitable, Leo, and resisting it only drains your light. When you let go, the universe turns in your favor. The wheel signals major shifts, situations that change direction, doors that close so others filled with promise can open. It's a reminder that life is dynamic, and every ending is, in truth, the beginning of something more radiant. Then comes the Ace of Cups, a card that vibrates with the energy of emotional and spiritual rebirth. In the image, a hand offers an overflowing cup of water, above which hovers a dove. It's a powerful symbol, Leo. It speaks of pure love, emotional abundance, and unleashed creativity. This arcana marks the beginning of a chapter in which your heart opens to the new, where joy returns, and where authenticity becomes your guiding light. For you, this may manifest as a new love, a deep reconciliation with yourself, a creative passion that reignites your fire, or even a spiritual awakening that connects you with the divine. All of this will be possible because you had the courage to leave behind what no longer nourished your soul. The next card in the reading is the Queen of Swords, closing this part of the journey with a message of clarity, independence, and discernment. Seated on her throne, wielding the sword of truth, this figure invites you to look at your life without emotional fog, without self-deception or justifications. Leo, we know how much you value loyalty and affection, but sometimes that same nobility leads you to carry relationships, commitments, or beliefs that no longer align with who you are. The Queen of Swords tells you, look truth in the eye, even if it hurts. Cut away what no longer adds to your life. Set clear boundaries. Be true to your inner voice. At this stage, your greatest strength will be your honesty with yourself. This card also points to the need to establish healthy boundaries, not out of coldness, but out of self-love. Because when you say no to what's not for you, you create space for what is. I sense that many Leos are going through a profound re-evaluation of what power, safety, and courage truly mean. For a long time, perhaps, you acted to please others, to uphold an image, to meet expectations. But now, your soul is telling you, it's time to take a risk. For you, this is not about leaping without thought, but about taking conscious steps, even if they lead you out of your comfort zone. Remember, the greatest risk is not moving forward. The greatest risk is staying in a place that dims your light. Because Leo wasn't born to live halfway. Leo came to shine. The final card in this reading is Justice, a symbol of balance, truth, and consequence. In the image, a figure holds both a scale and a sword, reminding us that every decision we make carries weight in our destiny. For you, Leo, this card indicates that now is the time to act with radical honesty. No more excuses, no more delays. Choose from a place of truth, even if it feels uncomfortable. Justice also signals that the universe is restoring balance in your life. If you gave more than you received, if you were loyal where loyalty was absent, get ready. What you have sown will return, multiplied. But to receive it, you must make space. And that means closing doors with courage. This is your moment, Leo. Your new cycle is not just any phase, it is the antechamber of your most authentic reign. Perhaps you have given too much in a relationship or situation without receiving what you deserve, or maybe you've maintained dynamics where balance was lost long ago. Justice invites you to look with objectivity, without unnecessary guilt or harsh criticism, and to take your part honestly. This arcana reminds you of a universal truth. Everything we give returns. Every choice we make creates an echo. A decision made today from truth and compassion will open a path of karmic harmony that sooner or later will restore balance in your life. Leo, this is a time when the universe watches your choices, not to punish you, but to align you with your highest purpose. Do you feel this message resonates with you? I would love to read your thoughts in the comments, because your experience can illuminate the path for other Leos going through similar processes. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel to keep receiving guidance and messages that support your personal evolution. Here we grow together in community and in light. Now, although your essence is made of fire and joy, sometimes external energies, heavy environments, or the wrong people can dim that unique brightness you carry. This message comes to remind you that you have the power to create a safe, harmonious, and protective space for your emotional and spiritual well-being. The 17th card revealed is the Two of Cups, a symbol of harmonious unions, mutual bonds, and true love. In the image, two figures exchange cups, representing equality and mutual respect. For you, Leo, this card announces the arrival of more authentic, balanced relationships, ones more aligned with who you truly are. It could be a romantic relationship, a creative partnership, a sincere friendship, or even a rebirth of self-love. Because only when you deeply value and respect yourself can you attract bonds where the exchange is fair and authentic. This arcana promises that by leaving behind worn-out connections, you create space for a purer love, relationships where you don't have to perform or prove anything, because you will simply be loved for who you are. Finally, the 18th card crowns the reading with a sacred message, the High Priestess. She is the archetype of deep intuition, hidden wisdom, and mystery revealed in silence. Her image shows her seated between two pillars, with the moon at her feet, reminding you that some truths are not shouted, they are whispered from within. Leo, this card invites you to turn down the volume of the outer world to hear the most powerful roar, your inner voice. There lie the answers you seek, not in applause or external validation, but in the sacred dialogue with your soul. Trust those gut feelings, those signs that seem like coincidence, that voice that sometimes defies logic. It is your compass, your guide, your truth. This ending is powerful. You are entering a cycle where intuition will be your greatest ally. If you learn to listen, nothing and no one will be able to steer you away from your destiny. Perhaps you've been receiving signs, dreams, or creative impulses whispering, "It's time to change," even if your rational mind tries to convince you it's not the moment. The High Priestess invites you to cultivate spaces of silence, introspection, and deep connection with yourself. Meditation, contact with nature, art, or simply listening quietly are portals that will allow you to access the messages of your soul. When you find that inner silence, you will discover the most powerful guidance, your intuition. It will show you the next step to move forward confidently in your transformation process. Leo, what you are closing is not just an external phase, it is an internal liberation. It is leaving behind limiting beliefs, rigid ideas about success, and attachments that prevented you from spreading your wings. For years, perhaps you associated your worth with image, applause, and visible achievements. There's nothing wrong with that, because your essence shines and was born to lead. But if that pursuit eclipses your inner voice, it becomes a golden cage. Today, your soul calls you to a more balanced life, where external recognition does not replace self-love or spiritual connection. This change may seem challenging, but it is the key that will open your path to authenticity and fulfillment. And then a radiant card appears, the Sun. This arcana radiates positive energy, joy, and success on all levels. In its image, a child rides a white horse under radiant light, a symbol of innocence, truth, and delight in life itself. Leo, the Sun is your card, your essence. It comes to confirm that after cloudy days, a stage of clarity, vitality, and expansion is coming. This is the time to reconnect with the simple, the genuine, with what makes you smile effortlessly, celebrate life, even amid change, enjoy the warmth of small moments. Because when you vibrate with gratitude, everything around you blossoms. The Sun announces success, light, and abundance, not because you seek it outside, but because you ignite it within. Next appears Judgment, the great spiritual awakening. Its image shows an angel blowing a trumpet as souls are reborn, announcing a profound revelation, the moment to heed the call of your essence. Leo, this card means you are entering a rebirth, a second chance full of purpose and meaning. You are no longer the same person who began this journey. Now you carry the wisdom of your experience. Judgment also brings a message of forgiveness. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know before. Forgive those who couldn't love you as you deserved. Every burden released is space made available for the light to come. This is the time to heal and move forward unchained. Finally, the 21st card closes this reading with a golden flourish. The World. It is the card of culmination, integration, and fulfillment. In its image, a figure dances inside a laurel wreath, surrounded by the four elements and the fixed signs, including the lion. This arcana announces that the cycle you are closing is not just any ending, it is a graduation to a higher version of yourself. Leo, the world reminds you that nothing you've lived through is lost. Everything integrates, everything makes you stronger, wiser, more authentic. This ending is not a full stop. It's a doorway to a freer, brighter, more you path. Many Leos right now are re-evaluating their relationship with image, power, and external shine. And that's okay, because that is your strength. But now you know your true reign begins within. The world awaits you, Leo, and this time you will reign not from a mask, but from truth. Leo, everything you have heard today is no coincidence. The universe is reminding you that your light is unique, that even amid the storm, you carry within you the fire capable of illuminating any darkness. This is your moment to release the past, listen to your intuition, and open yourself to a stage full of success, love, and expansion. Trust yourself, because when Leo dares to follow their heart, the whole universe conspires to make them shine. Now I want to hear from you. Which part of this message resonated most with you? What change do you feel your soul is asking for? Leave it in the comments, because your words can inspire other Leos on this same path. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell, because every week we share messages that transform, accompany, and raise your vibration. Together, we are a community growing in light, strength, and purpose. Remember, your destiny is not small, your destiny is great, because you were born to reign.